It's Adam Montiel and Jeremy West broadcasting from the spot at the fair, the Cork Dorks in Mission Square.
We're seeing all kinds of folks show up for the Central Coast Wine Competition tasting behind the Cork Dorks tent at the Crush 92.5 Mission Square Broadcast Center. There are a number of wineries, but only one can be Winery of the Year. It is Pear Valley, and we are lucky to have Kathleen Moss. We have winemaker Jared Lee, and we have been drinking all these beautiful wines. Oh yeah, give it up for Pear Valley in the ham.
Yeah.
And we love a good Cab Franc, and it is fun when you see one in the glass, Jeremy.
You know, I'm really excited to get into this. You know, I just keep looking every time you say Winery of the Year and the smile that is on Kathleen's face. And, you know, I
still shocking.
I know it's shocking and it's good. And I know that you said, you went down with Jared and you bought a bottle when we called you and you didn't even know, which was fantastic because we thought you already knew. And Adam's like, I called her like 20 minutes ago before our show. And he's like, I don't think she has any clue what's going on. And I'm like, oh, really? I'm like, okay. And so obviously then we talked to you and we found it out and all that kind of stuff. So, and then you brought a bottle of sparkling down and you told, Jared, what's going on there? Winemaker, Jared Lee's a winemaker. And then is there anything else that's happening tonight after this?
Jared's got kids he's got to take home and put to bed.
Yeah, we'll ride the evening out.
I mean,
for
tonight's the big night. I mean, this is the red carpet, right? I mean,
and
the Paso Robles.
We have everyone here with us, so we're going to have some fun.
And then, who was the first person that you called?
Who was the first person that I called? I think it was Pat Regan.
Who's Pat?
Yeah.
Pat was my husband's best friend.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're just trying. So we established this a little bit earlier on in today's broadcast that Kathleen lost the patriarch of the brand and her husband, Tom, a couple years ago, and we can only imagine just like how he'd be glowing at news like this.
Golly, wow.
What do you think he would say, knowing him as well as you do?
Oh my gosh, it'd be all elbows back and telling everyone.
Yeah.
He would be like a glorified 2-year-old.
Yeah.
That's great.
Because of all the hard work and everything that went
Yeah.
into it. And it doesn't seem like from either of you guys, and the way you explained Tom, it was something that you needed to get or were like searching for. But the fact that you entered in all these wines, all of them play so well. You entered 20 wines in here, and they all play so well, and just like well earned. And that'd be so neat. So neat.
I think also he just would have been so happy for Jared, who he had such a partnership with. They were teams.
What was that like with you? Because we talked to our buddy Joe Barton. He was the very first episode of the Cork Dorks, someone who was thrusted into the winemaking position much younger than he thought he would be because of the untimely loss of his father. Now here you are, like you said, you didn't know a whole lot of people. You were doing this thing. You obviously you're very good at what you do, and you must have been for many years now. But when you did a couple years ago, obviously you're in your groove, you're in your grind. But when you did lose Tom as that confidant, as that right hand, what was that like for you?
Yes, it was a tough one. I mean, as you can imagine, he was just the guy that we were there every day. Meet in the morning, eat, maybe a couple breakfasts together, a couple lunches together, keep the blood sugar going. We were always concerned about that. But
I like this guy.
I mean, he's just easiest guy to get along with in the world. But you lose your partner, right?
Yeah.
Just like Kathleen can completely understand. You lost that person, and so in the beginning it was rough, man. I mean, my head was in a different place. But
how did that vintage go?
So, interesting. So it's Tom-esque. I'll admit I was a bit off my game, and the wines are riper than I would normally make.
What month did he pass?
July.
Okay.
Yeah.
So right before harvest.
Yeah. Right in July.
Yeah.
And so they are riper than I would say normal, but they're stunning.
Yeah.
They're stunning.
Yeah. Tom had his eye on you.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So
he had his foot on the gas. So I think
as he always did.
As he always did. So the wines reflect that. Yeah.
That's really cool. It's interesting to talk about that. I think of when we talked to Shauna Rosenblum in the vintage that she did after her dad died, and there's so many things that will hit you, maybe as you were bringing in stuff and the firsts, of course, Kathleen, your first Christmas, your first this, your first everything. But for you in the cellar, your first ferment, your first,
And it's interesting because, I think, everybody loses people that are close to them, and it's a numbing. And but you go on because there's a greater good, and there was something they would want you to do, and it's fantastic that you guys have been able to keep it up and do this, and look where we are today.
Yeah, right. So cool.
And and that is fantastic. We're here in Mission Square. We're hanging out with the folks from Pear Valley Winery of the Year, and we're drinking the Cab Franc now. This has always been one of my favorite blends that comes out of Paso Robles, and not everybody's doing it. It's not an easy one to do. I mean, you kind of have to have the right conditions, right, Jared?
Yeah, right conditions. Vineyard plays a big part. Farming plays a big part. I love Cab Franc as varietal. I love what it does. I love the herbaceousness. But it's not like a super herbal wine. We lift up the canopy on the morning side. We get a little more aggressive, maybe on pulling leaves. It's not like that bell pepper jalapeno, right? We're
zero. There
is
nothing vegetable or herbaceous or anything about this wine.
Right.
I mean, really, it is.
Which, for the record, I'm not opposed to.
Some people dig it.
I really dig that aspect.
Some people dig it, yeah.
But
where does it sit? I know that Cab Franc is so interesting as when you find out where it sits, whether it's hillside, valley, top, bottom, the soil, how much shatter it gets. It's such a unique kind of situation, that Cab Franc.
Yeah. Ours tends to be situated on a really gentle kind of rolling hill. There's a really crazy sandy vein that runs right through it. It's like stepping over a line when you walk over it.
Wow.
But it does really well. Yeah.
Break it down for us. Like, what do you get from this wine? I mean, because normally, like you said, there's a little bit of herbaceousness. There's a hint there, but it's not too much. To me, I get a little pepper and a little cola. It's kind of weird, but
sure. Little sagey underbrush kind of notes to it. I get a little bit of like the violets, maybe some dried flowers back there too. But again, just kind of plenty of fruit, plenty of that Bordeaux style fruit, and then just that texture. There's just so much tannin into this wine. I think that's another part of having Cab Franc hang a little bit longer is just kind of making sure you tame those tannins, because they'll stick your lip up there.
We got an opportunity to go to Bordeaux a couple years ago with Alma Waterways, which is fantastic, by the way, if you ever get a chance. And they take care of you, and you're on this boat, and you have these amazing meals every day, and they take you to the best wine regions, left and right bank, but San Leon. I remember we went there, and
oh my gosh,
Adam and I, we discovered those wines there. And it's so funny because when you go there, and we hit 7 different ports, and the wines are so different. But we got to San Leon, and we just looked at each other, and we're like, what?
Yeah.
But Cab Franc is a big part of what's going on there, too.
Sure.
It's involved in those wines. And that's where I realized that this was something I loved, and I started, kind of searching it out here in Paso. This is fantastic, by the way.
Good.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm glad you like it.
Yeah, congratulations to both you guys. All right, we're going to be on stage coming up. We got the Wine Industry Awards. Everybody's here now. Everybody has showed up.
It's packed. Before we get on stage, let's cheers. To
Cheers.
Pear Valley and to Tom.
Cheers.
Yeah, there it
Cheers.
is.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. All right, so we're coming back. We're going to be on stage here at Mission Square. You can try these wines tonight. 15C is Pouring Distraction. It's their beautiful Bordeaux blend here at the bar tonight. Come by and say hi. It's the Cork Dorks, Mission Square. This is The Crush.